Hey guys, Ryan here. In today's video, I'm going to be telling you what I think are the best SMGs in Warzone right now. Because there's no real one best SMG right now, this video is going to be focused on finding the best SMG for you and your playstyle. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you do, you don't have to like, you don't have to subscribe. I just want to say thank you for watching this video and let's get into it. So the very first gun that we're going to talk about, it's going to be the Welgun. So for the four first guns on this list, I want to give you the attachments right after talking about them. And it's because I think those four are going to be the best SMGs in the entire game right now. And the reason I'm going to start with the Welgun is because this thing is just insane. If you are a more aggressive player, if you have really good movement, then this is the SMG for you in my eyes. It pretty much feels like the old MP40. It has low recoil, great damage, and great mobility. Those are the core strengths. This thing is a monster between 0 and 10 meters because of the mobility aspect and because of the damage. If you are using it correctly, if you are focusing on using jump shots, drop shots, all of it, bunny hops, whatever, then you are going to destroy with this gun. It's one of my favorite SMGs in the entire game. But it does obviously have a couple issues. The recoil can be a little intense. I call it low recoil, but it's more noticeable recoil on console than it is PC. And that's something to keep in mind. It's not that it's not good on console. It is. It just has a little bit more visual recoil than it does on PC. Not only that, it's not too amazing in the mid-range. It's not bad, don't get me wrong, but it's not great either. I'm going to be talking about this gun later when I'm comparing it to other SMGs, but for now, I'm going to wrap it up. And I was going to say, if you're a more aggressive player, this is probably the SMG for you. So now, in the number 2 spot, we're going to talk about the Type 100. So this is, aside from a Sten build I'm going to talk about later, the fastest killing SMG in the entire game. If you are able to hit your shots, this is outright the best gun on this list. This gun fits the playstyle of someone who's a little sweatier or someone who's really conservative and is often aimed down sight. This gun doesn't have the mobility of the Welgun and old MP40, but it still is good in an aggressive player's hands as long as they know how to use it. The other thing is the recoil can make this kind of iffy for more casual players. If you're someone who doesn't have the best recoil control in general, or if you play on console, then this gun can really be an issue. However, I still think it is really good on console if you learn the recoil and you get a feel for it. And I think that goes for any player. I think if you just give this gun time and you learn to master the recoil and the overall feel of it, you're going to notice how good it is. It's outright one of my favorite SMGs, and it's one I'd recommend for most people just because the damage is so good up close that how can you not like something like this? So moving on from there, we're going to get into the third gun on this list, the Owen Gun. So the first build you're seeing in the background is my build, and the second one that just appeared on the screen is kind of the more meta build, quote unquote, and the one you see used by other players. I, of course, prefer my build, and it has a much faster time to kill and is much better up close, but do try both builds out and let me know which one you prefer. If you're wondering what playstyle the Owen Gun kind of suits, it fits any playstyle. This is the most all-around best SMG. This is the kind of average SMG. It has great damage up close, great damage in the mid-range. It works as a sniper support. It works with an assault rifle. It pretty much does everything. This is easily one of the best guns in the entire game right now. But what I've found is it's either some people love this gun or some people just don't like it. I think people really fit into either side of that debate, and that's where you're going to kind of have to try it out yourself. Some people are going to pick it up and they're going to love it. The way that it shoots, the way that it feels, it's just going to feel awesome. Some people, though, they're going to try it and they're going to be like, what is this thing? Why would I use this? And so that's something you have to keep in mind. While this is objectively one of the best guns in the entire game, it also has a low rate of fire, it has a weird magazine placement, and it's not super mobile like the Welgun. I personally love this thing, and I know a lot of other people do as well, but for some people, it's just not going to be for them. And this is going to bring me into the fourth gun on this list, the Lapa. You can switch out the barrel on the Lapa. The BR Compact is for aggressive players, the rifled barrel is for sniper supports, and the extended barrel is a kind of mixture and kind of the best overall in my opinion. I really like the Lapa. It has super good damage up close, it has really good mobility, and it just has something about it that feels really good. I talk about feel all the time, particularly in guns like the Owen Gun, for example, but with the Lapa, the feel is amazing. I don't really know what it is, but there's just something about it that just feels like when you're shooting, it feels right. The bullets feel like they're connecting easily. The gun feels like it is putting out good damage. You feel like you win the vast majority of your 1v1s. You feel super mobile. There's just really nothing too wrong with the gun. Based on the barrel you're using, it's going to depend on how good it is in the mid-range. If you're using the rifled and extended barrel, this gun is amazing in the mid-range. The BR compact barrel, on the other hand, that makes this gun one of the best guns up close, but it makes it really weak in the mid-range. So that's kind of the trade-offs with the different barrels, and you have to keep that in mind. The Lapa is very similarly an all-around SMG that you should use kind of based off your personal preference and if you like it. If you don't really like the Owen Gun, but you're kind of looking for more just a general jack-of-all-trades SMGs, then I would go with the Lapa over the Owen Gun. So before I pull up a time to kill chart comparing the first 4 SMGs I talked about, I want to talk about these honorable mentions. Number 1, we have the MP5, number 2, the Sten, number 3, the MP40, and then the Coulter MP5 and OTS are going to round off this list. All of the guns on that list are worth using and are still viable if you like using those guns. And of course, if you don't see a gun on that list, that doesn't mean it's not viable. If I don't talk about a gun in this video, an SMG that you like, that doesn't mean it's not viable. These are just, in my opinion, I'm just trying to help people find new guns to try. So this is the time to kill chart for the first 4 SMGs I talked about, and let's break this down. So in purple, we have the Type 100. That blue that's right on top of the Type 100 is my Owen Gun build. That light blue is the Welgun. In orange is going to be the Lapa. And that top bright green line is going to be the meta Owen Gun build. So the Owen Gun with my build and the Type 100 are going to be the 2 fastest killing SMGs in the entire game by a good bit. The Welgun's going to come in third, the Lapa is going to be right behind that, and then following it up is going to be the second Owen Gun build that I talked about earlier. However, I do have to point out that if you are hitting limbs, the time to kill for all of these guns is going to change, and that's something you have to keep in mind. For example, my Owen Gun build. If you are hitting stomach, chest, or headshots, it's going to kill that fast. However, if you are hitting limbs, it's going to kill significantly less fast. So you have to keep that in mind. But the main point I want to get across is in reality, all of these SMGs kill very similarly to each other in terms of raw time to kill, and you're talking about such small differences in reality, it really doesn't matter. Between the top 4 SMGs I talked about on this list and the honorable mentions, there are tons of viable options, and it's just going to really come down to your playstyle. I do really think that you have to find the right one for you, because each of these guns have very different feels and they fill different roles. Each of them have different mobility, different rates of fire, different recoil, different damage at different ranges, and all of these kind of make what is going to be the best gun for you. And that's why I cover so many SMGs and break it down like this, is because a lot of times you have to find the best gun for your playstyle and for your strengths, and too many times people just like to recommend guns without thinking what is good for other people. Anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you do, you don't have to like, you don't have to subscribe. I just want to say thank you for watching this video. It's been Ryan. I hope you have a good day. Peace.